What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video I'm going to test the payload capacity of my 2021 Silverado Trail Boss, and this is a 5.3 liter L82 motor in it, and I had it supercharged by Lingenfelter Performance Engineering. It's making close to 600 pounds of torque and 525 horsepower. But I got 4-inch lift, got a 2-inch ready lift added on top of the factory 2-inch lift from Chevy for the Trail Boss. Got 295/70 R18s, basically a 34.5 by 12.25 Nitto trail grapplers. So I'm gonna load up the Trail Boss with 1,000 pounds of gravel, and I already have like 200 pounds of stuff in here. I'm at Lowe's right now. Got my Badland Apex winch, which is 100 pounds. And I also got a spare tire in there underneath the cardboard. You can't see it, but I got another tire in there. So that's another 100 pounds. So altogether, 1,200 pounds, which is already the limit for a Ram TRX. Ram TRXs only have a payload of 1,300 pounds, which is terrible for a $100,000 truck. My truck is about half the price and can carry more than the TRX. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a measurement from the top of the tire here to the bottom of the fender, or basically a wheel well measurement, before I load the 1,000 pounds of gravel, and we'll see how much the truck squats. So let me get my tape measure out so you can see. All right, guys, so got my tape measure. Let's see if you can see. We're at like 8.5 inches, roughly. 8.5. Okay, so we're gonna put 1,000 pounds of gravel now, and we'll see how much the truck squats with 1,000 pounds of gravel. Now we're on the passenger side, and it's about 8.25, or just over 8. So we're kind of on a slope here. It's not flat, it's sloping this way. So I'm gonna park in the same spot though after I get loaded, and we'll take the measurements again. So yeah, we're about 8 inches on the passenger, 8.5 on the driver side. So let's get loaded and see what happens. All right, guys, just gonna give you one last video before I get her loaded up, so we could visually see the difference in the rear end, to see how much it squats down once we put all that gravel in. But let's see what happens. All right, guys, so I just got loaded with 1,000 pounds of gravel, 1,200 total pounds in the bed, and she does look a little bit squatted right now, but not too terrible. So I got the tape measure out, and we're gonna measure the wheel wells. She's a little bit squatted, but still plenty of room, not too bad. Let's just get a shot from the back. A little bit squatted, but not bad. Let's take a measurement. All right, guys, so if you remember, driver's side was 8.5, and we are at 7 inches right now. So it's squatted 1.5 inches on the driver's side, with 1,200 pounds, just 1.5 inches of squat. I'd say that's really good. And let's go to the passenger side now. We're at 7 on the passenger side, about 7.25. So we were at 8 on the passenger side. So it looks like we squatted about 1 inch to 1.5 inches or so. So that's not too bad. And let's take it for a drive and we'll see how she drives with all this weight. But she doesn't visually look squatted at all, just a little bit of a squat you can see, but nothing crazy. A little bit of a squat, but not bad. 1,200 pounds in the bed. Chevy Silverado Trail Boss 2021. If this was a Ram TRX, we would already be at the maximum payload. This truck has a 1,700 pound maximum payload. So with a TRX, you're spending $100,000 and you don't even have 1,500 pounds of payload out of a full-size truck with 700 horsepower. That's just terrible in my opinion. But I know a lot of people like the TRXs. They're cool, but if you're buying a truck, you want it to be able to do truck stuff. Let me show you the bed. Show you what we got in here. So it's gonna be hard to see everything, but you can see all the gravel in here. 20 bags of it. Absolutely insane. Okay, it's just all filled up, and then there's my spare tire under there. And then my winch over here. 100-pound winch, almost 100-pound spare tire. And then I got just a shovel and some other items, but let's take it for a drive home now and see how she drives. All right guys, here's another look. You can see she's squatted down just a little bit in the back, but actually with the lift kit I have, it's actually 1 inch higher up front. I got a 4-inch lift up front and 3 inches in the rear, so even without a heavy load, it looks like the rear is a little bit lower if you take a close look. But with the 1,200 pound load we got now, she squatted just an inch, which is really impressive. So we're basically at like stock height now as far as the rear goes, because the rear block just lifted up the rear an extra inch over factory, and up front 2 inches with the ready lift. So I'd say pretty impressive for a half-ton truck. So let's take it for a drive and see how it feels. Let me show you the bed inside once again. Just loaded down with gravel, stacked deep. Gravel everywhere. Doesn't look like a lot, but as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's like 2 or 3 over here, and then a bunch back there. So let's see what happens. All right guys, so we're pulling out of Lowe's. Doesn't feel like I got any kind of heavy load in the back at all. Just feels like I'm driving normally. We'll see once I do some revs over here. See how it feels. I don't want to go too crazy because I got some pipes in the back. I don't want them to fly out, but just revved it up to 2,000 RPM. Feels fine, the torque feels fine. Moves quick off of the dead stops. No issues at all. We got a red light here. This will give us an opportunity to see how it feels from a dead stop again. So you can definitely feel the load a little bit. Like usually once you get to 2,000 RPM, the torque really kicks in and the truck moves like crazy, but you can definitely feel it's a little bit slower at the higher RPMs, but from a dead stop, no issue. Definitely feel it a little bit at around 2,000 RPM so far, but I don't really want to go crazy. because it's slippery out here. It's raining and I got pipes in the back. I don't want them flying out if I floor the gas or anything and have my rear tires hopping or spinning out and, you know, dislodging something out behind someone or behind me in front of someone. So, but yeah, from a dead stop, moves nice, no issues at all. Moves nice even at around 2,000 RPM, just slightly less responsive. You can feel a little bit less responsiveness, but it's not bad at all. We're going down this hill here, and this will give me an opportunity to see how it feels braking. Brakes feel fine, doesn't feel like they're overly taxed. We're still 500 pounds under the payload capacity. Now I do have a 300-pound front bumper and a 75-pound rear bumper, so keep that in mind too. But still 500 pounds under the payload limit, theoretically, for the bed. Feels fine braking. Revved up to 3,000. Definitely feels a little bit slower, maybe 20% slower. Going down this hill here now, this will give me an opportunity to test the brakes. Brakes are fine. No issues. Wow, she's fast even with 1,200 pounds in the bed. Wow, she's fast. So far my fuel economy is basically the same. Hasn't really been changed. So just cruising along at 1,500 RPM, which is the typical cruising RPM for my setup. I got 342 gears from the factory. Chevy doesn't offer any more aggressive gears than 342 anymore. They used to do 373, but they got rid of that a couple of years ago, I guess for fuel efficiency purposes. But even the 342 gears I've found are good enough, even with my heavy load range 35-inch tires. There are plenty. So I'd rather have 342s than 373s or 410s, because then your RPMs go up at higher speeds. But no issues at all here. Let me just rev it up a little for you guys so you can see. Definitely feels nicely planted with all that weight in the back. It's definitely not as responsive as without all that gravel, but it's still really quick. Just show you my fuel economy gauge here as I'm driving. I don't have my foot on the gas now, but it's pretty flat here. So you can see that it's not doing anything crazy. It's not struggling at all. My foot is off the gas now, but it's relatively flat here. Now I just put my foot on the gas. 15, 16. These are not accurate, obviously, but they kind of give you a ballpark, and you can compare, you know. So now we're at 30, so mileage is basically the same, nothing crazy. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. Still got 500 pounds of payload capacity left. If this was a TRX, we'd already be at the max, but